Hey everyone. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why I don't say yes to every client inquiry, or in other words, why I think being pretty selective has been a huge part of my success, not only as a virtual assistant, but also as a pet sitter. In both branches of my business, I am very selective. And I think that, when you get started in these types of service-based industries, you do kind of feel like you want to take every opportunity, right? But you really don't. You really don't unless you want to learn the hard way. Well, take it from me. Um, so here's why too. I mean, this does come with some experience because as you take opportunities, you learn what you like, what you don't like, and you learn what you prioritize and what you don't need to prioritize. So for me, I'm going to cover 3 points in this video about three things that I highly prioritize as a VA in my VA business. One is I prioritize the long game, the relationship game, the I want to be on your team for a really long time game, the I don't want to have to be searching for clients all the time game. So I prioritize the long game. I also prioritize my own nervous system regulation. And for me, as a highly sensitive person, which I've also talked about in other videos, um, I need to not be in high urgency. I know some nervous systems function great in high urgency. I don't. So that's the second one. The third one is I prioritize what I prefer to do as a VA because I don't want to be doing work that I don't like or prefer. I mean, that's why we open our own business, right? So that we can do the stuff we prefer to do and not do the stuff we don't. So those are my top three priorities. And I'm going to kind of flesh them out here for you so that you can at least have a roadmap. Even if you're just starting out with things, sure, you can, you know, have a little bit of a wider gate with who you might say yes to and kind of put feelers out and have different experiences. But I want to like put this bug in your ear that, eventually you might want to learn to say no and not take all the work that comes your way because that definitely can cause burnouts. And I have had burnout too many times that I can remember. Not recently. I haven't had a burnout since 2019 and we're in 2026. So I must be doing something right. And I think these are the things that make it different. So I prioritize the long game. So I do really both with my cat sitting business and with my VA business. I prefer to I prioritize the relationship with the business owner, the relationship with the cat parents and the cat, but the humans, right? So it's a relationship first thing. And when I think about a VA client, what I want, my ideal position in their world is like, I want to become an integral part of their business team. I don't have to be an executive assistant. I don't have to be the only person. In many cases, I am the only person, but in some cases, I'm part of a great team. And that becomes like a long-term relationship, right? Like I've been with people for a couple years now. And the great thing about being a part of a team, as opposed to just doing project work for people here and there, is you can retain clients. Like I see all the time in these VA Facebook groups, like people are always like, "How do I get clients? How do I get clients?" And I'm like, "Who are you saying yes to?" You know, um, it's fine to take on little project work, like do a little PDF branding or, this, that, and that. I've done that myself, just, for people I know who wanted to hire me, who had a project, and it's fun. It's like great extra income for me. But like generally, I'm looking for people who are running a business who need an ongoing partnership. And that is me. And I want to step into that and be not only a practical help in so many ways because I'm so versatile, but more so a part of the team and a valuable, like, thought um, contributor or perspective contributor and things like that. And so, um, yeah, so when talking to new inquiries, I pay attention from the first inquiry. I'm kind of like, how much did they share when they submitted their form? And then if we do some emails back and forth, I'm watching how they're communicating with me. Are they like me? Are they wanting to know about the person's business, wanting to connect, like make some kind of relational connection via email or how we're doing that. And then if we are and we're going into like the meet and greet, essentially the video call to see if we're a good fit, how are they in that meeting? Does it seem like we are like aligned in that way? Like they like getting to know me. They're asking about my business. They're, making connections. Like, do they seem like they care about me as a human? I don't need them to know my personal life, but I need to feel like, okay, this is like one of my people, you know? And I am that way with all of my current clients. Like when we hop on a call, which isn't frequent, thankfully, because I also don't love having frequent meetings, but when we do hop on a call, it's always like, how are you? What's up? What's going on? Give me the update. And so that's nice. And I like that and I value that. And so do they. So I am always like watching when client inquiries come in because I think you can tell a lot by how people communicate via email or like a form submission, right? So, and then ongoing communication between then and whatever your next steps might be. So, yeah, you gotta learn to read the people. I think it's like a huge skill set that isn't talked about enough. And you got to know what you prefer. That's me. That's how I prefer to do business with people and to be in a business, contract or relationship with people. That is my priority. You need to know what yours are. And if you're somebody who doesn't want that and you just want like business, you know, just give it to me straight. I'm going to do the work, pass it on. I do want projects. Like that's fine. Just know what you prioritize. That's the point. My next priority thing that I prioritize, as I mentioned in the beginning, is my nervous system regulation. This has been huge, having gone through burnout and just learning. Oh, hello, little spider on my table. Okay, we're just gonna put our arms down here and hope that you stay over there. Um, Speaking of nervous system regulation, right? It's like, how calm can I stay while there's a little black spider crawling across my table? Now I don't see him, so it's almost better that I don't see him. Okay. Sorry for the sidebar there. So for me, I value, as a highly sensitive person, I need a lot of spaciousness in my schedule, energetically with people, with like responsibilities. I need to not feel rushed. Does that mean I'm not efficient? No, I'm actually quite efficient, especially because I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing a lot of this a long time. I probably can get done more and better than a lot of people who haven't had as much experience as me being a VA. So I do work really efficiently, but I need to not feel like it's last minute, 11th hour turnarounds, everything's always on fire. You know, there's never like a breather and things aren't organized, right? So I need to feel that from the person. So when I'm communicating with them or maybe on the meet and greet and seeing if we're a good fit, I'll try to suss out directly or indirectly, how are your like systems? Like if you want me to do X, Y, and Z, will you give me that a month before? Or is this something I can just kind of prepare every month for you? Or, and kind of get a feel for how they roll their internal systems. Because here's the other thing. 3 out of the 4 of my current clients are self-proclaimed ADHD, which I love for them. We're totally opposite in that regard. But even though, they're that way, and sometimes just like in every business, there are fires you have to put out, or there are like last minute ideas that come up. I'm kind of used to that by now. Generally, like the base of these ladies' business systems is organized. We have systems. I'm doing things a month or 2 weeks ahead of time. They review the things. I have a week to do X, Y, and Z. It's a spacious system. I understand that things come up and that is also why it works for me because I have a spaciousness. If a ping happens and they're like, "Oh, can you do this?" blah blah blah. I just thought of this. It's like I actually typically do have the spaciousness to do that because I've created it, because I value it, right? So I can accommodate things last minute. Do I want that to be my norm? Absolutely not. But so I prioritize that in a client. And so I'm looking for that. And I make that clear to them when I'm on a call with them. I'm like, look, this is how I am. I am this way. I need a lot of space. I don't work well at all under time pressure, under 11th hour things, under someone who's always seemingly on fire. If that's you, I'm not judging. We're just not a fit. I just can't work like that. And I think that's also because, I have worked in situations like that and it was not good for me and I burned out. So I understand also that that comes with experience. It comes with work experience or experience working as a contractor and saying yes to someone who ultimately wasn't a fit. So, but if, maybe you're an adult and you've like had a totally different career and now you're getting into this, you probably do know your nervous system, right? You probably do know what type of people you like working with, whether that is, you know, you just like being around or even in a work setting. So, know that about yourself and start sussing that out from the first inquiry. Again, like I remember last year, um, I had a project inquiry. It was kind of like a peripheral person, like two people away from someone who was my client. So they didn't really know them, but someone they knew them. And they needed like a project and it seemed very urgent. And I was like, we don't even know each other. She was like, can you have this like, I don't know, it was like an ebook, blah, blah, blah. I need it done by the end of this month. And I'm like, hold up. Like we need to have, my typical process is X, Y, and Z. I'm not just like a project turner out, or you can't just like submit a project to a random VA and be like, hey, I need this by the end of the month. Can you do that for me? I mean, maybe some VAs work that way. I don't because I don't value that kind of a relationship, right? I value a relationship where A, you know, you engage with me in a little bit of a higher, more elevated, respectful manner. And B, I want to know who you are, firstly, know about your business, didn't even know who they were, what their business was. And if I want to back that with my energy and my work, and I need you to know how I function. Because if you're going to hire me, you need to also agree to certain terms. So there's like a process to follow, right? So, yeah, don't get caught in the trap of just saying yes to work when it comes your way. It's like you might be sorry. So I'm glad I said no to that person. And eventually it ghosted me, and I was like more than happy about it. I was like, this is lovely. I don't have to end this thing. Yeah, fine. Actually, I think I probably did like, I don't know. I may have like sent a closing email. Um, I may have just let it go because I think they might not have gotten back to me. Anyway, I won't go into those details. Um, My third priority is so it's like those are my top two. And then the third priority is what they are looking for, a match for what I want to do. So I feel like I do kind of orient to a lot of this in an upside down way or in a way that is contrary to the mainstream way of orienting to this. A lot of people who are getting started in this work are just like, oh, if work opportunities come to me, I'm saying yes. I don't care if like it's not something I want to do or not. As long as I can do it, I'll do it to make the money, right? Like that's how a lot of people orient. And their priority is, um, you know, if they can say yes to it, they're going to do it, whether they like it or not. And for me, that's like not really how I operate. I mean, that's why I left like the W-2 world, right? Yeah, I left the W-2 world because A, I didn't want to follow someone else's schedule, and B, I didn't want to be kind of like scope creep, I guess, as an employee. I didn't want to have to do stuff that I didn't want to do. And so as a VA or as your own boss, you can clearly state, which I do on my website, we're a good fit if you're looking for these types of things. We're not a good fit if you're looking for these types of things. It's very clear on my website. So, that's the next layer of what I look at. So if we feel energetically, relationally like a good fit, then I'm like, okay, what do these people need? And on my form, my intake form, I do ask them like, what are their top three priorities um, of stuff that they need help with? And if it is stuff in my wheelhouse, then great. Then we move into the next phase, which is like, let's have a meet and greet personally, make sure we're a good fit this way. And if so, we're moving it forward. Um, if not, though, then I say we're not a fit. So like for me, stuff I hate doing is like video, and I've gotten asked to do this and said no. Like Instagram video, like real stuff. Like I don't do videography. Oh yeah, that's another thing I should mention in these videos. I hate video work. I don't mind recording videos. I feel very like fine recording them. I hate editing videos. I've done it and it's like one of my least favorite tedious tasks. And so my YouTube videos are going to be very raw like this, like you're sitting at my kitchen table and we're just like having a little consult, nothing fancy. But I find it very tedious and I highly respect people who can do it and who like to do it. So I don't do video stuff. I don't do WordPress. New clients. I know how to do WordPress. I also hate WordPress. So for anyone, you know, who I had last year, someone come to me with a WordPress website, not to make it, but to like kind of manage it. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't work with WordPress. Do I have clients who have WordPress? Yes, but I took them on earlier in this process, and one of them changed from GoDaddy to WordPress. It's fine. But, any new clients moving forward, if that's their priority, it's a no. So, things like that, other things that I don't do, and I've just learned from experience, I don't do travel planning. I don't do inbox management. I think I've said this in other videos. They're just things that I don't like doing. So you need to know, okay, just because can I do all of those things? Absolutely. Have I done them all? Yes. Do I want to say to a new potential client who I'm hoping I'm in the long game with that I will be video editing and doing their WordPress and travel plans for the next 2 or 3 years? Absolutely not. I don't want to be doing that. So if that's what they need, they're not a fit for me. So you need to know the difference between what can you do, which is usually a larger list, and what do you want to be doing as a VA for people, right? So, and that'll be a smaller list. And then there may be things you're neutral about, right? Like I'm neutral about doing like research on stuff. Like, can I do it? Sure, yeah, it's fine. Is it my favorite thing? No, but it also isn't like the hard ick that like videography and travel planning are for me. So it's fine. So yeah, I would say those are the three big things. And for me, prioritizing relationships, nervous system regulation, and are we a fit like skill wise and what I prefer to be doing as a VA. And by orienting this way, I feel like it creates a sustainable business model for me. I have clients who I love as humans, who I love connecting with, who, also all of them have like a high caliber of work that they do. I mean, I have two people in the finance world. They're doing accounting, tax prep for like lots of other businesses. I have a private practice lawyer who's in the like biotech, world who's supporting these companies doing amazing work in the medicinal fields. And then I have like a person who owns a whole therapy practice of like 20 therapists and has her own consulting coaching business. I mean, they're amazing people doing amazing work and I respect them highly. And I'm grateful to be in this long-term relationship slash working relationship with them. And that is how I like to feel. And the same with my cat sitting clients. I don't have to go into all of it, but they're all wonderful human beings who feel like extended family to us. And so, if you're not here for the VA content and I do like the cat sitting, it's like the same idea applies. I'm in it for the long game in the sense of if I'm signing you on as a cat sitting client, and by cat sitting, I mean house sitting, we literally live in their homes. I need to feel at ease in their home. The home needs to be clean, spacious, comfortable for me to be living my life in there, and I need to feel like I can relate to you, the human who will be my client for the next few years. And I have had clients now for 3, 4, 5 years. So it's been working is what I have to say. And like I said earlier, I haven't burnt out from either. Since I left my last W-2, well, last 9 to 5 W-2 in 2019, I have not suffered a bout of like work burnout. And I think that this orientation, as I built it and learned it over time being a contractor, has really played a key role in that. Um, I'm just seeing if I have any final thoughts. Yeah, I would say a guideline that I kind of go by is, if you say no to the client who's not a fit, it really leaves more room for the right fit clients. And I know it's hard. Sometimes when you say no, you're afraid that that work is not going to come your way again. But trust me, the energy of it's just the energy of it is kind of an energetic game. It's just like boundaries, it's just like dating, it's just like anything energetic. If you say no to a thing that is like not to your standard, it's not that nothing else will well, nothing else will come your way if you think nothing else will come your way. But if you say no and you're like, no, my standard is here, and the only work I'm taking are people who are here or above, whatever that looks like for you. And so if you say no to here and below, then you're essentially holding the energetic bar to the universe, to God, whoever it is you're, orienting towards. You're holding the bar and you're like, this is it, baby. It's here or above. And the same, with dating and all of the things. So it's kind of like your energetic stance. So, but if you start taking this work over here, that's like, oh, it's just a little work. Oh, it's just a little adjustments here and there and little project. It's like that. Then that takes up all of your energy. And the big, long-term, amazing, fabulous client whose energy is this big doesn't have room to come in. That's kind of how I see it, and that is how it has worked for me. So I have no qualm saying no. When something's not a fit, it's like very clear. So yeah. But if you need help with this, if this is something you want to chat about, do know that I offer kind of two different ways that you can chat with me about where you are in your business questions. I have like a voice note option and I have a one-on-one like live option. We could do like a Zoom call. So I'll leave those links in the description. You can go to my website and book whatever one works for you. And, we can help you to craft a business that works for you and your nervous system. Okay, thanks. Bye for now.